Bro, what's the deal with creatine? Do I even need it? Oh, it's awesome, and it's the most researched supplement out there, and if you're looking to get stronger over time, it's a proven supplement and it should be a part of your supplement list. But I don't even have enough money to spend on it, so I don't think I need it. Oh, okay, what supplements do you currently take? Oh, I take some very effective supplements. I have protein, I have BCAAs, ashwagandha, moringa, testosterone booster. Whoa, easy, stop. Before I go into detail, BCAA itself is about 3,000 or 4,000 rupees for a monthly supply. And it's absolutely useless if you're hitting your protein goal through your food. Whereas creatine, which is a proven supplement, is barely 700 or 800 rupees for a supply of 2 months. This is exactly why you don't have money left. You're spending on useless supplements without even knowing why. You need to do more research and try to understand why you're taking certain supplements. And if you do enough research, you'll know that creatine is something that you need to take. Okay, relax. I anyway want to be drug free and all natural, okay? So I don't need it. I hope you guys can relate to this conversation because this is the conversation I have with someone regarding creatine whenever this topic comes up. So I want to make this video to educate you as much as I can to the best of my knowledge when it comes to creatine so that you can make an informed decision for yourself. So let's get right into it. First of all, what is creatine? Creatine is an amino acid derived substrate or fuel that comes from arginine, methionine and glycine. It's found in your skeletal muscle and it's primarily produced in the liver. You can also find creatine in a lot of foods, especially meats and fish. So before you jump to the conclusion that you're having a drug, you're not. It's already produced in the body and you're going to have it through your foods as well. But you need uncomfortable amounts of meat and fish to be able to hit the levels of creatine that your body needs, which is why you need to supplement with it. Especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, it's very difficult to reach those levels of creatine in your system. Now, how does creatine exactly work? Creatine is stored in muscle cells as creatine phosphate, and ATP, as you know, is the energy currency of our body. And it is called so because it has 3 phosphate molecules, adenosine triphosphate. So in the process of performing any physical activity, we use up one phosphate molecule, which makes it adenosine diphosphate. So by supplementing with creatine, we increase our creatine stores in the muscle, which in turn helps us increase strength and explosive power over time, and increase in lean muscle mass if your nutrition, training and recovery is on point. So how much of creatine should you take? What is the dosage that you require? If you take the recommended dose of about 3 to 6 grams per day, it will take about 2 to 4 weeks for you to reap the rewards of creatine and reach your saturation point. But if you load creatine with about 10 to 30 grams per day, you'll probably reach that saturation point in much less time, which is about maybe 1 week or a little less than 1 week. And that is what the loading process basically is. So if you're someone who hasn't taken this supplement before, or if you're someone who has been off creatine for a very long time, you can start with a loading protocol and take 10 to 30 grams of creatine every single day and reach your saturation point faster than you would if you would stick to 3 to 6 grams per day. But this would basically just help you reach your saturation point a little faster. There is no long-term benefit in doing that. So should you load creatine? No, you don't need to. But yes, it is something that you can do. But ideally, the recommended dose of 3 to 6 grams per day long term is something that you can stick to, and there is no problem with that. A very common question, should you cycle off it? There is no need to cycle off creatine if you're taking the recommended dose of 3 to 6 grams. As I mentioned before, it's not a drug, it's something that is available in the body already and through other foods. So you're only supplementing with it to be able to reach the levels that you need in your body. You don't have to cycle off it, just like you don't have to cycle off food, protein or anything like that. Now before we go into the benefits of creatine, let's see the side effects and talk about some of the things that people worry about when it comes to creatine. Some people feel that if they supplement with creatine, it can affect their kidneys. But if the creatinine levels are high even without supplementing, then yes, there is something going wrong. So consult your doctor with that and go have a checkup and get your test done to see if it is functioning optimally or not. But if you are consuming more than the recommended dose of 3 to 6 grams, maybe you're consuming anywhere between 10 to 30 grams for a long period of time, try to reduce that dose and come down to maybe 3 to 6 grams, which is the recommended dose, and see whether your tests are coming normal or not. I'm pretty sure the levels of creatinine will fall if you do that. For this, you will need to consult your doctor. Don't take anyone else's recommendation. But what you need to primarily think about when you're taking creatine is to stay hydrated. That is very important. And why is that? Because creatine has a propensity to draw water to it. So if you consume creatine, you will draw water towards your intestines. And if you are not hydrated enough, you will get stomach cramps, you might get diarrhea, you might experience bloating as well. But very simply put, you can avoid all of this by not going through the loading protocol that we discussed before. You don't have to take more than 3 to 6 grams per day, and if you stick to that, you're probably not going to experience any of this. Now that we've discussed some of the potential side effects, let's get to the benefits of it and talk about why creatine is so very important. Again, let me make this clear to you, creatine is the most researched supplement out there. So anyone telling you anything against it is talking absolute shit. There are research scientists out there who are dedicating their life to tell you the importance of creatine and how it can help you. So keep that in mind. There have been multiple meta-analyses that have been done over time to tell you the benefits of creatine, and in terms of maximum weight that can be put on the bar for a 1 rep max, 3 rep max, 5 rep max or a 10 rep max shows you an increase of about 8%. And in terms of the amount of reps you can do with a particular load, you're looking at an increase of about 14% over time. These are just average numbers that have come out of studies that have been conducted for anywhere between 6 to 24 weeks. But just know that creatine response in your body can be completely different. It's very individualistic. You might be someone who reacts positively or very positively to creatine, versus some other people might take longer to see the same benefits. So to see the benefits of it on your body, you need to give it time, supplement with it, see how it works, keep doing your workouts, track them and see whether it's benefiting you or not. And if yes, by how much. Now let's talk about creatine and how it affects your body composition. Just like you increase muscle glycogen levels with a carb-dense meal, creatine consumption also comes with a little bit of water retention. Now let me tell you why this is a good thing. You might see your weight go up initially when you consume creatine, but you won't see any kind of gain in body fat or change in body composition, because that's not what happens. Creatine has the same effect of a carb load, and it pulls similar amount of water for every gram of creatine stored in your muscle cell. There's an increase in the muscle fiber diameter because the muscle is more hydrated, again because it has the propensity to draw water towards it, and this increases muscle growth because it stretches the muscle cell a little bit. But primarily you see an increase in muscle mass because you see an increase in performance and you get stronger over time. Yes, you might put on some weight when you start supplementing with creatine, but this is purely intracellular water weight within the muscle cell that you are seeing. But again, since creatine has the propensity to draw water towards it, I would not recommend you to load creatine. But taking the regular dose will gradually increase your saturation levels, and even if you go off it, it will gradually go down. So there's no point of going off it at all. What you can do is just stick to the 3 to 6 grams that I mentioned before. A super important question that everyone has around creatine is, you feel bloated when you take creatine. A lot of people experience bloating when it comes to creatine, and that is one of the reasons why people want to stay away from it completely. But as I've mentioned before, it's only intracellular water weight within the muscle cell that you're experiencing. In this case, you simply do not want to do the loading phase of creatine. It just makes no sense. Do not do it. Stick to the 3 to 6 grams of creatine per day for a long period of time and you'll be good. Another alternative for you is that you can switch to creatine hydrochloride instead of monohydrate, because that has lesser amount of creatine in it but has the same anabolic effect. The only thing is that it might be a little bit more expensive than monohydrate. Another question a lot of people have is that, am I too young to take creatine or am I too old to take creatine? As far as research goes, creatine is good for multiple age groups. It can benefit someone who is even of 50 to 60 years of age who wants to again retain muscle mass or increase muscle mass as well, because that is a stage where you start losing muscle mass through a process called sarcopenia, and by supplementing with creatine you can delay that process. So it's really useful. And in terms of children, it not only helps with retaining lean muscle mass but also helps with brain health. So supplementing with creatine is completely safe for multiple age groups and both genders. Before I end this video, there's a lot of talk between creatine and caffeine and how they work together. There was a study done in 1996 that showed that supplementing with creatine and caffeine together can negate the effect of both. But since then, there have been 3 studies that contradict this belief in a more conclusive way. But to be honest, there isn't enough research, but the research that is available to us shows that there is no harm in taking both. You can supplement with both and you will get the benefit of both as well. So there is no harm of taking creatine and caffeine together. I hope this video has helped you. I hope this video has answered a few questions that you have around creatine. It is not a drug, it's completely natural. So I would recommend you to take a minimum dose of 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 grams per day, long term, and you are going to see the effects. Make sure that you track your progress and understand whether it's actually working for you or not. You should neither think that it is a drug and it is something bad, and nor should you depend on it and think that if you start taking creatine, it's magic. You still need to put in the work, you still need to put in the hours, you still need to work for it. So make sure that you're doing that and keep your nutrition, training, everything intact, and you will see the results. I hope this video helped you. If it did, if you think someone might benefit from it, please like, share, comment, do all the good things. And if you have any questions, let me know and I'll be more than happy to help you guys. See you in the next video.